With Omar. Welcome today. So today we'll be making a lapel jacket without the back collar. So it will be a lapel jacket with lapel. The jacket will have lapel without the back collar, without any collar at the back to fold. Okay. So that's what we'll be making. Let me quickly close the door. I'm coming. Okay. So we're drafting actually. We're not this live is not to sew, it's to draft. So I'm going to show you how to draft it. Is pretty much easy. There is no big deal, much big deal. In fact, there's no big deal about it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, right? So let me just adjust the phone to my table. Okay, I hope you can see it. Yes, I think it's visible like this. Yeah, this is good. Okay, yeah, I think everybody can see. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is to get my baseline, so where I'll be starting from. Okay, so I'll start drafting rather the front. I'll start drafting the front. The back is pretty much easy, like pretty much easy. Okay, so I'll start with the front. Okay, so this is my baseline. This thing can dry off, so let me close it. So this is my baseline, and from my baseline, that is where we'll start getting our length. What we need is shoulder measurement, we need our bust point, we need waist point. The under bust is not really necessary because it's a jacket, right? So we need our bust point, we need our waist point. You can as well have your under bust point of circumference, but we really don't need that for this. We need just your bust point, your waist point, and your length. That's a jacket's length. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to give some inches. We're going to give allowance before we start our circumference measurement. So I want to give like 5 or 4. Let me use 4. So these 4 inches that I'm giving out now is where our lapel is going to start. Okay, where our lapel will be at. So I'm taking it down, all the way down. So I'm marking 4 inches, 4 inches. Okay, so as soon as you get that 4 inches, you roll it, connect all the dots together. Okay, I hope you can see what I'm doing. So you connect all the dots. We're making a lapel jacket. From the topic here, you know what we're doing. Sorry, let me get my cover because this thing is very fast. Alright, so now we have our base. And now we have 4 inches allowance. This is for our lapel. Okay, this is where the lapel will be, and from here this is where we'll start measuring our circumference measurement. Hi. Hello, welcome to the live. So this is where we'll start taking our measurement. So the next thing we want to do, like I said, what we need is we need our shoulder. This person's shoulder measurement is 16. Okay, it's 16. That's from this point to this point at the back. You take it this way, is 16. So 16 divided by 2, we have 8. So I'm going to put it there. And note, if you're making a jacket, you want to ensure that your shoulder measurement is not the exact measurement. Okay, that's what you must ensure. So instead of taking 8, you can say 8 plus 1. There must be 1 inch. This 1 inch is just for ease. When you're making a jacket, you need to have that ease. It's either you add 1 inch or you add half inch, because you don't want your jacket to be like this. You want it to relax. Okay, so that's basically what is here. So your shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus 1, that's what you're going to have here. Then from this point now, I'll start measuring all my points. Like I said, we only need your bust points. In fact, at this point, if I'm not sure you need your bust points, you just need your bust point, your waist point. This person's waist point is 19, and the full length, the full length of this person is 27, but my paper does not have, it's not up to 27, it's about 26. I don't know if you can see it. What I have there is about 26 to 8. That's 26 and quarter. Okay, that's what I have there. So I'm just going to use this length. I'll add it on my fabric. So whatever length you have for your customer, that's what you're going to use. Okay, so just ensure that. So I'll take it this way again. Bust point is 10. Just mark 10. 19, and then this place will be for the jacket length. Okay, so I'm just going to connect. This thing is drying now, so I'm just going to connect. Okay, I'm just going to connect like this. So this is done. This is my bust point. Just put it there, and waist point. The fan, let me push the fan away. Okay, I think this is better now. So we have our bust point and we have our waist point. The next thing is to take what we have here, our shoulder. Our shoulder is 16 divided by 2, which is 8. You know, we added 1 here for ease, but we don't need to add it here. We'll just take the exact amount, which is 8 inches. Okay, so that's what we need here, 8. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to take 8 here and then connect the points. Okay, so just put shoulder. You can put shoulder or chest line. Either you put a chest line or you put shoulder. I hope you can see it. Let me bring it closer so that you can see what I'm doing. What's good, mommy? Everything is fine. I'm just trying to show us, we're just trying to learn how to, draft a jacket. It's a lapel jacket without collar. Okay, you can see, right? Yes, because I can see it from here. So this is basically what we need: our points, our chest line, our bust point, our waist point, and our length. We've gotten our shoulder here divided by 2, which is 8 plus 1 inch allowance. This is what we have here. So now we want to connect. Here on this your chest line, you're going to mark what you have here. I have 9, which is shoulder divided by 2 plus 1 inch allowance I talked about for ease. This is a jacket, so we need that ease. We don't want to use our exact shoulder. I'm going to connect it this way. And so the next thing I'm going to do now, from this chest line or my shoulder line, I'm now going to get my bust circumference divided by 2 and divided by 4. I'm sorry, my bust circumference divided by 4. That's what I'm going to mark here. So the bust circumference of this person is 40 divided by 4 is 10. So I'm putting 10. Now note, whenever you're having sleeves on your clothes, you need to ensure that you have 1 inch allowance after your bust circumference measurement. So my bust circumference is 40 divided by 2, divided by 4 rather, is 10 plus 1 inch. This is the 1 inch ease. There must be ease. That's what I have here. Okay, so I'm going to come to my waist. Like I said, you don't need your under bust for this work, except if you want to make a fitted jacket, then you can have your under bust, get your under bust circumference and all. But this person, I don't want to make a fitted, like fully fitted jacket for the person. So I'm going to go here now and get my waist circumference. So the waist circumference divided by 4, obviously. And this jacket is going to be a loose jacket. It's not going to be fit. It's not a fitted jacket. It will be loose. So I must have ease allowance apart from my normal allowance. There must be ease allowance here. Okay, so this person's waist circumference is 37 and 37 um I'm sorry, where's calendar? 37 divided by 4. Hey, how can I not know 37 divided by 4 now? Let me use my tape, sharp. You can clock. 37 divided by 4. Let me just use my tape rule, sharp. You know how we do it now. But I don't like using tape rule to do this division. Why? Because sometimes it just has a way of stretching the tape rule out. So I think we have about 9.5 or 9 and something. Okay. Yep. So we have about 9.25. That's what I'm going to have here. So the waist circumference, I'll put in 9.25. Remember, I said there must be ease for me. I want ease. So I put 1 inch here as my ease. Now on this place, we're not using our waist, we're using our hip measurements. You can use your hip measurement because you still need that place to be free. You need it to be free. This jacket is long. This jacket is to the hip of the person, the hip point of the person. So I cannot use the waist circumference here. I will have to use the hip here. Even when you're doing other jackets, you have to ensure that you're using your hip measurement. Okay. So this person's hip is 45, and 45 divided by 4, we have about 11.25. So I'm going to put it down there, 11.25. And here I might just have 1 inch again as the allowance. Okay, so once we have this, the next thing we're going to do is to connect. So I want to connect, I want to connect all these points together. Okay, so I'm connecting now, and then I don't want to have that hippie look. Okay, I don't want it. So I'll just find a way to blend it. I don't want it to have that, I don't want it to look like there is hip. So I'll just find a way to blend, even though I want it to have shape. Okay, but I'll just blend it. Please like this video if you can see this, so that more people can join. This is an interesting tutorial and you don't want to miss it. So the next thing we're going to do is to get our neck depth and our neck width. I'm using for the neck width 3 inches, and I'm going to use for the neck depth 2.5. I'll use 2.5 inches. Okay, so I'm connecting this way. This thing is drying, that's why I close it all the time. My goodness. Okay, so I'm connecting this way. Now we want to get the lapel. This is where the work is, the lapel. We want to get the lapel, where the lapel will stop, and then we want to also get the button allowance. The button allowance is 1 inch, so you're going to start measuring 1 inch from here, anywhere you want the button to stop or start from. So let's say it starts from here and ends here. So for me, I want the button to be somewhere around this place, in between the waist and the bust point. Okay, so I can, maybe this is where I will need the under bust. So I'm going to mark 1 inch all the way, 1 inch all the way. I'll get my under bust. This is just, our under bust is 13. Yep. So this is where I want my button to start from. So I'm just going to connect that. Okay, and connect it down here. I hope you can see what I'm doing, please, and you can hear me as well. So I'm just going to connect it like that, and now what we're left with is the lapel. We want to get the lapel rather. So from here I marked 4 inches. You can actually have more than 4. I don't know if you see some jackets that the lapel is usually very wide from this point to like the shoulder back, It just depends on you. So for me, it's either I'm using a 3 inches or I'm using a 4. I'm using 4 inches. But I would use 4 inches in this case, or 3. I think I'll use 3 inches. So let me use 3 inches. So this is depending on how wide you want it, okay? For me, I'm using 3 inches. So this is my 3 inches and my 2.5. 2.5 I brought down, and I will just connect it. I'll just connect it like this, okay? And see, this is basically what you need and all you need for this jacket. This is all you need for this jacket. The next thing we're going to do is to just connect our lapel to our button, and just connect to the button like this, okay? Just connect to the button, and we're done. We're done. This is it, okay? So I can decide to still make it more than 3 inches. I can decide to make it 4 inches. Just depends on how wide you want your lapel. It just depends on how wide you want your lapel. Connect it this way. So this side would, when I cut it, you see what I'm talking about. So let's get our armhole now. So you already know your armhole. You come to your shoulder here, and whatever it is you have, you first bring down one. First bring down one for slant, shoulder slant, and then whatever it is you have, you divide by 2. What I have here is 7. Divide by 2, 3.5. I'll just mark it here, and so I'll connect like this, okay? I'll connect from this point. I'm taking 1/2 inch. I didn't mark it, but of course you have to take note of that, okay? Just connect to this point and then get my shoulder slant. Yeah, so this is basically what we need, okay? This is basically what we need. For some jackets, you will see that there's a curve in front, but this one I just want it straight down. That's why I didn't leave any curve. But if you want a curve, of course you can have that. Just from this point you go up by 2, 3, depends on how much curve you're looking for, and then you just use your curve ruler, place it this way, and connect. Do you get? But for me, I do not want a curve. All right, so now let's cut. Like we're practically done here. When you're cutting on your fabric, remember to add your allowance. Remember to add your allowance when cutting on your fabric. You can add as much as 2 inches or 1, just depends on you, okay? So we're cutting now. Okay, let me use from this 4 so that you understand what I mean by how wide you want it to be. You must have that 1 inch for your button allowance, so else just like you're putting zip here, so that 1 inch must be there. So this is basically what I am talking about, okay? This is basically what I'm talking about. So for me, this is where I want my button to start and end down at the length. So this is basically what we're talking about, okay? So you can choose to have it this wide, or small, lesser than 4 inches, okay? You can choose to have it that wide or lesser, okay? For me, I'll be cutting it to make it 3 inches. I don't want 4 inches. So it just depends on what you want. You can make it 4, you can make it 5, you can make it 6, you can make it any amount, okay? So it just depends on what you want. For me, I want it as 3 inches. Okay, and so we have it. Yeah, this is the jacket. Okay, this point now, you can decide to slant. So chaotic. You can decide to slant here, just so that that area will not be looking funny as soon as you're done sewing. So just give it a little slant, take ½ inch up. Basically, that is all we need for this. Oh, sorry. That is all we need for this, and we're good to go. And we're good to go. So for the back, right? So for the back, please, I just want to show, I know that you know how to go about the back. So the back, the only difference is that your back depth would not be 3 inches or 2.5 inches to be 1. So you're taking it from here 1 and connecting. This is what your back looks like. The same thing as your front. The difference between the back and the front is this your flap and your button. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. Hi Emela, thank you all for joining. I'm really happy we were able to do this, and as usual I'm going to save this video for you to watch later. Till we see in the next live. Bye bye.